One. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the B.E.A.R Project online training. We'll be together for about 45 to 50 minutes today, so you have a sense of what's coming. All the folks who you see on the screen are counselors at Brown University Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS, as we like to call ourselves. And we're going to start out with some introductions.
Hi everyone, my name is Cholada Darukiti. I'm one of the psychotherapists here at CAPS. I'm also like psychologist by training. My pronouns is she, her, hers. Nice being with you all today in this space.
Hi everyone, my name is Corey Martin Fitzgerald. My pronouns are he, him, his. Here in CAPS, I serve as a psychotherapist, and I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor by training. Nice to be with you.
Hi everyone, I'm Diane Farber. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a psychologist by training, and I am a psychotherapist here at CAPS.
Hi folks, I'm Erin Lane Aronian. I'm a clinical psychologist who's one of the assistant directors at CAPS, and I use she, her, hers pronouns.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jamila Alwan. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a psychotherapist at CAPS, a licensed clinical social worker by training. Thank you for having us.
So we're glad to be together. And now that we've gotten through the introductions, I'm going to share the screen so you can start to see our B.E.A.R project training. And on the recording, you're probably going to see me move around where our faces are located so you can see more or less on the screen, hopefully more. So the B.E.A.R project, which we're going to focus on today, is a training we developed for the Brown community specifically. We experience Brown as a super caring community that we are glad to be part of. We know from talking with lots of students, staff, faculty over the years that it can be an environment where folks support each other, and sometimes that can be anxiety provoking or challenging to know how to do. So we created B.E.A.R with the hope it would help members of our community feel more comfortable and confident supporting each other. We often hold this training in person. We love meeting in person. And over time, when there's been also demand for this training, we've decided to create this online version so that we can make it more accessible to members of the community.
And as we move forward today, you know, like we've mentioned already, you know, we're so appreciative that y'all are caring members of the community, and there can be topics as we move forward that can be sensitive to folks. So do whatever you need to take care of yourself, including like, you know, turning off your screen or stepping away from the screen, hitting pause, and just like getting a drink of water, fidgeting, whatever you need to do to take care of yourself as you're watching this video. And if you need more like additional support on top of that, you can always call this number. This is the CAPS number. It's the only number that CAPS has, and it's available 24/7 during the workday. When you call that number, you'll reach our front desk staff, who will direct your call as you need, whether that's some more immediate or a request for an appointment. If you are reaching this number after hours, you will be connected to a clinician who can provide you with support in the more immediate moment.
Throughout our online training today, you will have a lot of opportunities to reflect on like your experiences. For example, at the beginning, Jamila gonna ask you like prompting questions to help you reflect on your belief about mental health or about asking for help. This also can help you reflect on how our own or other people's mental health is impacted by identity or personal experience, or can be like lived experience or like culture or like your background. And also like for you as a helping role, when you worry about someone that you care about. So throughout our training today is help you to increase knowledge of how to engage with a person that you worry about and how to like be present, ask questions, and also help them through the process. And also that like is going to provide you opportunity to also learn more about resources on campus and also how to make a referral if you also like concerned about someone and also like want to consult or like want to reach out for help, that we also provide resources that you can make the referral. And also we can also have a couple scenario that also can help you to gain more knowledge of the stress, distress, and crisis framework, and to know differences, and also like to know that when is the time that you're also going to like reach out for more people, that you also can get supported and also get the person that you worry about get supported too.
So I'm not sure if many of you have seen this statue on campus yet, but this is an art installation that's located pretty close to the new Performing Arts Center. What I really like about this is that it really highlights what we hope the B.E.A.R project as well as the Brown community will be modeled after. So it's community, connection, and support. So as we move through today's training, we will revisit these topics of community, connection, and support through the lens of helping professions, understanding where you may fit in this circle of support, and ways that you can continue to do this for those of the Brown campus that you support, but also for yourself.
Thank you, Corey. And here we have another circle. We like inclusive circles. So the JED Foundation is a nonprofit that focuses on promoting wellness and reducing suicide risk for college and university students. We, in addition to getting a ton of feedback from our campus in creating this program, we also drew on professional resources like this JED Foundation framework. As you look around at this framework, you know, we at CAPS as licensed mental health professionals, we're the folks at the bottom who are on campus explicitly providing mental health services for students on this campus. And although we're in that role providing care, by no means do we think we are the only folks doing mental health work on this campus. We in fact think everyone is actually doing mental health work or has the potential to do so. And as you sort of, you know, we imagine if you're watching this video, you're in a helping role in some capacity. We encourage you to look around this diagram and sort of notice where you might be. We imagine just by being in a helping role that you're promoting social connectedness. Brown is actually built on the idea that being part of a community, the psychological sense of belonging to a community, research shows that that sense actually reduces our risk for mental health concerns and suicide. So anything you're doing on campus or in your life in general to promote connectedness is helping the community related to mental health. Also, because you're in a helping role, we imagine you're increasing help-seeking behavior with folks you're interacting with. You may be helping people develop life skills or help identify students who may be at risk and could use some additional resources. But we hope you see yourself on this slide in some capacity.
All right, and this is a very important part actually in our training. This is the part where we pause and we try to identify, explore, and understand our own beliefs about mental health and how they impact us seeking mental health, but also assisting others in connected to mental health. The goal of this section, which is going to be through a series of questions about the belief that you hold about mental health, is very important in putting an emphasis and emphasizing the importance of approaching mental health through a caring, non-assuming, but also an open mindset and lens. All right, so if you need to pause the video after each question, that would be great to do. So that's an exercise you can do on your own with yourself, or you can even do that with a friend, with a colleague, and use those skills, I think, in general, in reflecting and exploring your own beliefs and experiences and how it impacts mental health. So the goal also is really to understand your own stigma and at the end to destigmatize the belief that we have about mental health. So when the first question to ask that is very important is, when would you consider accessing mental health supports and who would you tell? That's a very important question for us and for others to ask. Who would you tell? Right? Would you tell a family member? Would you tell a friend? Who would you tell if you were to seek mental health? And when? What would be the point where you're going to say, I need support. I need more than what my friends can do for me. And I need more that my coping strategy than what I have developed right now. The second question is, what have you observed about the way people ask for help here at Brown? We talked a lot so far. My colleagues have been talking a lot about the sense of community, and Erin was talking about how that community support helps a lot in reducing crises, in reducing suicide risk. So that's a very important question to ask. Stop and reflect about what we have observed about help seeking here at Brown when it comes to mental health. The people access services, is it a psychologically minded campus? Is it something that is a little bit stigmatized? So pause and ask yourself that question. And after observing what you've heard, what you've seen, what you experienced about mental health seeking here at Brown. The third question is, how is that similar or different to the way your family, siblings, parents ask for help, right? We all come from different environments. We had rich experiences prior to Brown, right? And probably during those experiences and these environments, help seeking and mental health was approached in a very different way, right? So how we try to connect those two is by understanding how similar or different is it, what we've experienced in the past to what we are experiencing now in the present, into asking for help, especially in our environment of origin and to our family's origins. And the last question is, what is your personal approach to asking for help? And I'm going to ask you, when you ask that question, asking for help for yourself, so what's your personal approach? And also if thinking about it when you want to assist someone seeking mental health, because both answers are connected. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to ask yourself, but also remember that those questions are important in your conversations with others, as we are part of a community here at Brown.
Thank you, Jamila. And thank you folks who are watching this for just having participated in that. We really strongly believe that it's hard to help other people without having a good understanding of our own beliefs. So we thank you for participating in this. Now we're gonna switch a little to talk about resources on campus, the mental health resources on campus. And Shalana and Corey are gonna help us go through these CAP myths.
Yeah, so now we have a series of CAP myths, and Corey gonna help me walk through this too. So like the first one, student must use their health insurance to access CAP services.
So yes, indeed, that is a myth. Here at CAPS, the way you gain access to us is through paying your student health fee. So every academic year, you will pay a student health fee, which grants you access to all of health and wellness in our services, with a few caveats on the health side, with maybe additional labs and testing and even medications. But for CAPS, no, if you have paid your student health fee, you have open access to CAPS. One way that you can check that is to always either check your bill statement whenever you pay tuition, or you can call over to health services to ensure that you've paid your student health fee for the year.
Great. So the second common myth about CAPS is students can come to CAPS for up to 7 sessions per school year.
Right, so this is a big myth. In our past, we have placed session limits on coming to CAPS, but we no longer do that, and we haven't done that for some time. We do want to point out here that unlike the community, CAPS, we can't really close our doors to incoming students seeking services, unlike a community mental health clinician could, who was in private practice. Just something to be mindful about, but no, there is no session limit to access CAPS.
Awesome. So the next myth is there are no crisis services available at CAPS.
Once again, a myth. So here at CAPS, we actually have a robust crisis service team. So that is head by one of our clinicians, who is our urgent care clinician. Her name is Ansha Santana. Within our crisis service model, if a person is needing to be seen, we encourage them to come to our front desk so that we can talk about what options may be available to you for the day or even in the future.
Great. So the next one, there are long wait times to access care at CAPS.
Yes, so also a myth, and I think this gives me a good jumping off point to go back to a statement that I made earlier. So with CAPS, we've tried to do a pretty good job of creating mini access points for students to seek care with us. So that comes in the form of crisis and crisis care, as well as trying to have a robust group offering list, doing workshops like this one, doing individual therapy for ongoing mental health concerns, as well as drop-in therapy through our next day system. So we definitely offer lots of access points, which in turn reduces our wait time. I will say, going back to my earlier point when talking about session limits, so CAPS, we are unique in that, so if I were in the community as a mental health clinician in private practice, I could easily say, you know, my caseload for the time being is going to be 10 clients and I'm no longer accepting anyone else. Well, that's something that they can do, but here at CAPS, we can't do that because our population are students at Brown who are seeking care. So I will say just be mindful of that. So during the year, there may be times when getting in to see your favorite therapist may be a little longer than what it normally would be. But once again, we have many access points to reach care if you're interested in coming to see us at CAPS.
Thank you, Corey. That's great.
Thank you, Corey and Shanlada. And now we're going to go to one more slide where Diane and Jamila are going to help us with a bit more myth busting.
And I think, you know, a lot of these you can pick up, there's a pattern here of ways that, you know, that these are obviously not the case anymore. So Corey mentioned briefly that, you know, there is that this myth is also busted. CAPS only offers individual therapy. So Jamila, do you want to go into sort of busting that myth?
All right, so we do offer our individual therapy, and that's something that we enjoy being with our students one-on-one, all of us, the psychotherapists at CAPS, but you might also see us in the community because we do outreach. So we'll do events, you'll see us during your orientation, you will see us in events like this with the Bear Project or other outreach events that are requested by our community members, whether students and staff are requested. So you will see us out there in the community providing outreach, and we love being in the community too, and we love providing individual therapy. The third part also, we provide groups. So we have different groups every semester, and to check the list of groups, a good place to start with will be our website, since it's frequently updated with a list of groups. So that's where you can find our groups.
And I think often, yeah, every once in a while, I come across a student who continues to perpetuate or be holding this particular myth due to confidentiality. There's a lot of confusion around that. So this myth being due to confidentiality, students need to access CAPS individually without any assistance.
Okay, so
yeah.
So sessions are confidential. So whatever happens in that session with the student is confidential. So let's say that one of your friends helps you schedule an appointment. You sit in with someone, and that friend of yours is in distress. You help them dial a number. You give them the number on the back of your card, or you go to the website to check services at CAPS. You're going to be helping them. The student is going to schedule the appointment. You're there providing support throughout. We're not going to communicate any information to your friend. Let's say your professor helps you, or let's say a dean helps you. We will not provide any information. For example, in the case of the dean, if you want us to talk to the dean, there will be a release of information that needs to be signed. Otherwise, we cannot talk. Everything would be confidential there.
And then how about when we're available? Can you speak about that?
Yeah. So CAPS is available really 24/7. The number is on the back of your card. During regular business hours, when we are working, Monday through Friday, if it's not a holiday, from 8:30 to 5 o'clock. Then during the academic year, you will have on the phone, you will have our wonderful front desk staff who will be able to help you either schedule a session or get in touch with the urgent care clinician if it's an urgent matter. So that's availability. Let's say it's a Friday, it's 8 p.m. You need to talk to someone. We have CAPS on call. It's a great resource to use. So that we'll have a clinician on call able to assist you and help you during that time. Same thing on weekends or on holidays.
Great. And CAPS clinicians are not diverse.
Yes. And I'm just going to go back to that part about when we are available. We also have the walk-in possibility to our building on 450 Brook Street. It's a new health and wellness building just behind CVS where we are. So there's a walk-in possibility too. CAPS clinicians, yes, are diverse. And when we talk about diversity, we think about from different ethnic group. We are from different training. We have clinical social workers, we have counselors, we have psychologists, we have 2 psychiatrists. So it's a very, very diverse group of professionals. We have, in terms of diversity, multilingual staff. We speak different languages and will be able to provide the clinical services in your language. If you speak Spanish, Thai, if you speak Creole, that's Cape Verdean Creole, if you speak Portuguese, French or Arabic, will be able to provide that. So I invite you again to go to our website and check the therapist bios right there and see who will be a good fit for you based on our group of clinicians.
Thanks, Jamila.
Thanks, everyone. I'm moving our faces around a little for the presentation. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the meat of the Bear project. We created Bear. You know, bears are cute. They're a mascot for Brown. They're all over campus. But we also really, you know, wanted you to have something simple that you'd be able to refer to next week, in 6 months, in a year, if you're in a helping position or just navigating your everyday life and realize that someone around you could use some support. We teach PEAR in a linear fashion. We go B-E-A-R. That makes it easy to remember. But certainly in real life, you may bounce around between steps, and we honor that. We trust you to be in the moment and navigate it. We mostly want you to have something that you can remember in those moments where it can feel a bit anxiety provoking of like, what do I do now? How am I going to support this person in front of me? And we want to remind you that and sort of be clear that we feel that a lot of the basic human skills of connecting with other people that you likely already know how to do because you're in a helping position, those are the skills that are really needed in moments of supporting other people. We also want to draw your attention quickly to the B.E.A.R Project logo. So obviously it has a bear. The constellation piece of the bear we see as really important as symbolizing this community that we're part of, this caring community. So each of us, each of you, we see ourselves as like stars in this constellation that is the Brown community. And if there are moments where you are providing support for someone else, we don't want you to feel like you're that like lone star shining in the sky, right? We want you to feel like you're surrounded by other resources, right? And don't have to take it all on yourself. And Diane is going to start us off with the first step of the B.E.A.R Project.
That's right. Yes. So I'll be covering be present. This, as Erin has already mentioned, for y'all to be tuning in, my assumption would be that you are already in this helping role and that being present is quite intuitive. But to break it down further, because it is such an essential part of our interactions in connecting with other people, the way being present starts with is just like nonverbals, eye contact, smiling, acknowledging who you're coming across on a day-to-day basis. That's sort of the start of how we can create a community with one another. There's chit chat, you engage with people on kind of on a daily basis, and then you can start to listen, and listen for something called an emotional valence. So just this idea that like, is there a shift in this individual that I interact with kind of on a daily basis? Or usually this person and I chit chat, they're a little quiet today. And so that's sort of a way to start to be present with your community, is just using all these skills of being that are probably already intuitive for helpers, and using them in your daily life. So Erin and I are going to take a moment to illustrate this, this point.
Awesome. Yeah. And in order to help us do this, I'm going to temporarily stop sharing my screen. And Diane and I, who are not trained actors, are going to attempt to do a role play. And our wonderful colleagues, Jamila, Corey, and Shanlata, are going to turn off their screens temporarily. So in this role play, Diane is a student in a helping role, and I am a student in some degree of upset. And we'd like you to pay attention to how present Diane is being as she navigates her day and comes across me, who's upset.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me know when we can start, Erin.
All right, let's start, Diane.
Go.
Hi, Diane.
Oh, hey, Erica.
It's Erin.
Oh, Erin. Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm not great, honestly. I started this semester with a bunch of goals and really tried to do things differently. I've been going to the library. I've been trying to sleep better. But it doesn't seem to be paying off. I just got an exam back, and honestly, it was terrible. And I just feel awful.
Oh gosh. Are you in that the organic chemistry one?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that one was hard. That was really hard. So I'm sorry that's going on for you.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do. I feel like I've tried what I know,
That's
and I just
tough.
feel awful.
That's really tough. Did you meet with a professor?
No, I feel that kind of freaks me out. That's like, I don't like office hours.
Yeah, but that's what they're there for. So just, you should shoot them an email or at least a TA or something. Oh, I'm running late. I knew it. Okay, so I gotta go. But Erica, good luck on that, okay? See you later.
And see. Good job, Diane. And
job,
for
Erin.
those of you watching who don't necessarily know Diane, Diane is lovely to meet with. And it's a tribute to her acting skills. That didn't feel lovely on mine. So I'm gonna just ask our colleagues if anybody has any observations around if Diane was present.
He wasn't. Yeah, I think that portrayal didn't seem to put your interests, your needs in the center.
She was distracted.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, I was distracted myself. So
Yeah.
I missed part of it. So speaking of, it's not like I was not present in the moment, because at one point I started like looking around my office, but she was, yes, she was distracted and not fully there, not giving, like not honoring the person's distress right there.
Yeah. Thank you for your honesty, Jamila. It happens. Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, even though I knew Diane was gonna sort of comically be distracted, and it didn't feel good, right? Like I felt like I was like fighting for your attention. So I think now we'll try a corrective experience scene where we are in the same roles. So Diane is in her helping position role, and I'm a student who's upset. And if our colleagues could turn off their video, that probably would be helpful. Thank you, everyone. All right, Diane. Hi, Diane.
Okay. Ready?
Ready. Yeah. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Erica.
It's Erin.
Erin. Yes, I knew that. Hi, Erin.
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm not great. I feel kind of awful, actually.
I can see that. What's coming up? What's happening?
I had a lot of hopes for this semester. I was like, felt prepared. I had goals. And I thought I did what I needed to do. Like I've been trying to sleep better and I've been trying to go to the library, but honestly, I got a grade and it was honestly horrible. And I feel bad. I feel really bad right now.
Yeah, that's an awful feeling, to feel like you're trying to get everything in the right spot and getting everything organized so that you can set yourself up, and it's not working out right now.
Totally. And I don't know what else to do. Like I've tried everything I know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also hard. I think sometimes though it can feel like that, but maybe there are other options. Like, have you tried talking directly with the professor?
I've thought of that. I'm a little intimidated. I don't usually go to office hours and I don't know really how to start.
Yeah, that's a really common thing. But I will tell you that office hours, like that's kind of what it's built for. I know that it's really intimidating, but you can sort of make it what you need it to be. And that's what they're available for. So, but I'm realizing actually I'm running, you caught me in an awkward time. I'm in between two things, and I got to go to my other thing.
Oh, okay.
But I'd love to just work through some like other solutions with you. Do you have some time later?
Yeah, I think yeah, that would be fine.
Awesome. Great. So it's 5 o'clock. Good.
Yeah, 5 o'clock's good.
Great. All right. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye, Erin.
Bye. And see. Okay. Yeah, any observations from our friends of how Diane showed she was present? And I definitely felt more of Diane's warmth and presence there. Yeah.
Great job, Diane. Yeah, like you look very like attentive to Erin's needs, and like you're not your head, your facial expressions, your caring, your concern about Erin. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more reflective of what it would be like to meet with Diane, a real person in real life. And it felt good. So yeah, and we hope through that Be Present 90-day sitcom version, you could sort of notice the nonverbals and the verbals that Diane used to show me her attention. And one of my favorite parts of that was when you sort of noticed I wasn't, we were sort of just lightly greeting each other, and then you noticed I wasn't feeling great, and I could feel your attention, your presence shifting to me.
I got chills because I was just about to say something about that.
Oh.
Because I made something verbal that I typically wouldn't, but like just that idea of being present and going, she's different than how I usually experience her.
Yeah, you noticed the emotional valence. Yeah. Well, awesome. Okay, I am going to share my screen again. And we're going to shift to the next part of Bear with Jamila.
Going to do the engage, right? So we're going to use a lot of the last example, the role play between Erin and Diane, into focusing on how to engage the conversation. So usually conversations are that we steal the spotlight. It's a back and forth. We start something, we talk, like, for example, I saw Diane in the morning in the hallway. So, oh, I like your skirt. Oh, I'm going to get a coffee. I need a coffee. Oh yeah, I need a coffee too. And then we start interrupting each other and talking. This is how we do as colleagues who've known each other for many years. But if we use the example between Erin and Diane, we see at that point in the second part of the role play, right, when Diane was fully present, we see that part, that shift in the conversation, when her gut feeling, her spidey sense, right, kicks in, and she notices that Erin is experiencing a situation that needs the full attention. And that's the part where she shifts. There's a shift in the conversation. There's a shift when she focuses fully, when she's fully present and she engages, right, with Erin, and engages with the facial expression. Her whole presence is right there in order to know more and put the spotlight, put all the emphasis on the distress. So this is the part in the conversation when we sense, that there is a gut feeling that, there is something the person might need help, might need space. We step back a little bit and we leave that space for the person who seemed to be experiencing a difficult time. The reason why you do that, we engage, and engage, it should be an ongoing process. When the conversation gets a little bit more intense at one point, the purpose of that is to learn more about what's going on with the other person so that we can be there for them. We can be there for them and connect them to whatever help they need, or if we can help them ourselves, right? And ask the questions that are needed. And that's what, so be present, engage. So you're fully present, you engage once your spidey self, your gut feeling is telling you there is something, and then you ask, right? So we'll move to the next part.
Wonderful segue.
That was great.
Yes, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. So within the ask, we want to have some intention behind it, and we want to make sure that we are asking specific questions about whatever concern brought you to feel the need to ask. We want to ensure that we are listening to understand and not just giving advice sort of off the cuff. And I really like the idea of coming alongside a person and exploring what their concerns are. And I use that language intentionally, coming alongside a person, because I think that takes intention to do. It's a lot less about wanting to just quickly provide feedback, and it has a lot more to do with wanting to understand and listen and create space for someone. Ways that you can do that are with simple questions. So here on the right of the slides, some of the simple questions could be, how are you doing? I think that's direct, it's specific, and I think it can really serve as a door opener to get to some of the deeper concerns that you'd like to check in about. Another one is, tell me about blah, blah, blah. Once again, you're not making assumptions. You're not trying to decenter their needs. You're just asking them simply what they are. I'll read one more. Another one, and one of my favorites is, can I give you excuse me, can I give you suggestions? I would definitely use that after I hold space for someone, after I've asked them, how are they doing? Tell me about this. I noticed this and it makes me wonder about this. That's when I would get more towards the suggestions. And I think it's really important to ask, am I the only one who knows about this? As we discussed at the beginning, and we're going to definitely discuss again at the end, community is big. Care within the community is big, and we want to ensure that if there are any concerns that someone brings up, you feel empowered to let that person know that they have options. One, also through collaboration with that person, share that information with their consent to or with someone who could be of even better help than you in whatever role you currently serve. I think this is also a really good time to point out that usually when we deliver a B.E.A.R presentation to you in person, there's a component of our presentation in which we talk about having these conversations around and regarding safety concerns. We won't get into that today because we do want to be intentional about the information that we give. And if we were to just give that information right now, we have no way of really being there for you in the moment and supporting you through that. But it's very important. And if you feel that you'd like some more information about having conversations through the B.E.A.R model regarding safety concerns, reach out to your respective leaders in whatever helping roles that you inhabit and request an in-person B.E.A.R training.
Thank you, everyone. So we continue to move along the B.E.A.R continuum. We've been present, we've engaged, we've approached another person with an open, curious, compassionate lens in order to try to understand what someone's going through. Before we get to the refer part, where it talks a little bit about some of the community partners we'd want you to consider connecting someone to. We want to talk a little bit about the stress to stress crisis continuum. When you're interacting with humans, there's a large range of how we all present to each other. And sometimes trying to understand a bit while you're being curious, while you're engaged and asking questions. Part of what you're trying to understand is like, how can I be helpful? And we like to think of this as like some scaffolding to think about how we would encourage you to potentially be helpful. So here you see stress to stress crisis and then interventions that we would encourage you to. You'll see empathy is in all three areas, which we know you all have the potential to be present and empathetic with other humans. Stress is something everyone experiences. We as CAPS clinicians experience, you as students, staff or faculty experience. There are these moments of stress that occur in everyday life that we typically have the capacity to manage on our own or with like the people in our life who are our supports. And typically we would just encourage you to be like present and empathetic with that person. And that often is enough. Example of something we think of related to stress is, you might have a student who's quite stressed related to like an acute academic stressor, like a bad grade on an exam, and they may be tearful for a short period of time. And then it passes. That is a very human experience. Tears, crying is a human part, as part of being human. We would not say someone experiencing stress needs to see a mental health professional. If we move a little bit along the continuum, distress often is an indicator that there are stressors building up and that some part of the human's experience, the person's experience is being impacted, like their functioning may be impacted. Their mood may not be as good. They may be feeling irritable. They may be having trouble sleeping, a whole range of things. In the category of distress, we would say empathy again is really helpful. Human connection is helpful. And we strongly believe that. Also, as you're trying to understand what the person in front of you is going through, there may be a range of on or on-campus resources that could be helpful. CAPS could be one of those resources, and CAPS tends to be one of those places where people go when they don't quite know what else to do. Sometimes we'll see students who come to CAPS and then realize through their conversations with us, they may actually need to talk to an academic dean or make a plan, or sort of build their community through one of the affinity centers. And those sort of referrals end up being more helpful than therapy or just as helpful. Crisis is pretty rare, and we would describe it as typically related to an acute safety concern, or a change in mental status that might impact a person's safety. Again, empathy is useful, and we would recommend CAPS as a resource related to crisis. As we've said, we have 24-hour contacts related to mental health emergencies. EMS could also be a resource that's useful. CAPS is not like a mobile crisis unit. So if a student is on campus but cannot come to CAPS, EMS could be part of that support structure in the same way. For students who might be at home or later graduating, you might, if you can't make it to a therapist's office, right? Like calling first responders could be part of the supports that are useful.
So if this is another refrain for us therapists that we love. So you've heard therapists love a bunch of things, but we love community, which you've heard a bunch about. You've heard about empathy, which you've heard a bunch about. And this is the other one, boundaries. You're going to hear that therapists love boundaries. And that's because it's such an essential part of providing care, not just for the community, but for yourself. So, just like with any other role, with any other helping role, we want to make sure you all understand that you're not alone in providing the support. So don't ever feel like you have to take on that role of being a therapist for anybody that you're helping. Be clear about where where you are capable or willing, or you have the bandwidth to offer support, as well as where you don't have those I guess like that capacity. And then if there's a point where you want to offer support, but yet the other person, there's kind of like some conflict there, or maybe some resistance there about like accessing support, and you're continuing to be worried about them, you can always access your own coordinator, your own supervisor, as well as CAPS to consult, or even to contact the student support deans on campus, who can then get some information from you and work through some steps about maybe reaching out to that person.
Yeah, and now the last part of B.E.A.R is R, like refer, right? So like we acknowledge that like for you as a helping role, like when students like reach out to you and also like in front of you, you feel like that, oh, I also like want to be there for this person, want to provide support to them. And also, it's also important for you to listen to yourself too, in terms of like what you comfortable doing, and also like what you may not comfortable doing, or like as Diane mentioned, to acknowledge the boundary, right? In terms of like what you can do and what you cannot do, or like may not comfortable doing, and then consult, right? Or like reach out to other campus resources, and also it's also okay for you to ask for help too, in terms of how to provide support to the student in front of you. So as Aaron mentioned at the beginning, that like you're not alone in this process. As the B.E.A.R logo that like you one of the stars in the constellation, that like we all collaborate with each other. Each person is important in the constellation. So yeah, please feel free to reach out, ask for help, connected with other campus resources, so that we also can collaborate with each other in providing some care and support to the student or friend that you're working with.
All right, so to continue on the resources available at Brown, as we said in the past, throughout the training, Brown is a campus that's rich in resources, and we encourage students and staff to use the resources. And that sense of community, right? That bear logo with the constellation, stars connected to each other, helping each other, right? And making sure that we have safety and care for all members of the community. So the resources available at CAPS, and as we said that throughout the training, we like to repeat that. The number is on the back of your Brown ID, is the number 4 resources right there, right after DPS, right after health services. We have our number, Counseling and Psychological Services, 401-863-3476. So how to access that number? During regular office hours, 8:30 to 5 o'clock academic year, you can walk in if you need to get the help you need, or get the help for someone. You will be welcomed by our wonderful front desk, who will be either scheduling a routine appointment. If there's an urgent matter, we have a wonderful colleague, Ansha Santana, who is our urgent care clinician, and be able to help you, connect you to the help you need. If it's on the weekend, if it's 8 p.m. on a Friday, then you can call also the same number, we call it the CAPS on demand, because it's really on demand at any time when the office is closed. You'll be able to be connected to a clinician, a therapist on call, who will be able to help you. So remember this resource. At the end of the day, this is a 24-hour resource available to you and to be used.
I'm going to try to move our pictures around a little. Oh, sorry. So 2 other resources, and again, Brown is so resource heavy that, you probably know a number of other, I'm having trouble moving the things around. You probably know a number of other resources that you could potentially connect someone to, and we trust you to do so. We're just naming a few that community members have found helpful. So in addition to CAPS, we want to just say a word on student support service deans. So Brown has 2 kinds of deans, the deans of the college and student support service deans, who are trained really to support students with any medical or personal issue that's impacting functioning at school as a student. Where CAPS works hard to be a place where students choose to go, where we do not mandate treatment. And I'm saying this because if a community member calls us and say, I'm worried about my friend, CAPS will take in that information, but will not reach out to the friend and say, you have to come into CAPS. We want students to be coming to us by choice. Sometimes those students, parents, faculty, friends say, I'm really worried about my student and my friend, someone I know, and I don't quite know what to do. The student support deans can be a wonderful resource. They sort of hear community concern often, and then they reach out to students and check in and see if they can provide support. EMS is also a resource that's available, as we mentioned earlier. But we encourage you, in addition to CAPS and these 2 resources, to think of any resource you know on campus that could be helpful to someone you're connecting with.
All right, so y'all made it. Thank you so much. The fact that you're still here and you watch this is a testament to your belief in community and care and also connection. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you continue to process and sit with some of the things that you learned today. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day.
I'm stopping the share.